Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and here's a video on why the GLA 45 AMG makes a great daily driver. Hey guys, let me give you some quick stats here. This is a 2015 model, which here in the United States produced 355 horsepower, 332 foot-pounds of torque. The 2016 model has been upgraded to 375 horsepower. According to Mercedes, 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, and the weight of this car is just under 3,600 pounds. It's about 3,586, I think, 3,590, somewhere around there. Well, enough talking, let's go for a drive. It is such a fun, chuckable car. On these back roads, it's like, you know, it's definitely a sports car on these back roads, and it drives great on the highway. Best thing about this car, though, is really the engine. It's all this power, 355 horsepower, from a 2-liter, 4-cylinder turbo engine. Now, the turbo kicks in at about 3,000 RPM, so you really got to drive the car between 3,000 and 6,000. You also get fuel cut off at 6,200 if you don't shift in time, if you're in manual mode. Now, all GLA 45 AMGs come with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, and you can really flick off the shifts very quickly, whether you're going upshift or downshift. Now, this car also has the optional sport exhaust, which I think is a must-buy for this car. So in the United States, we don't get the 845 AMG. So that car is really legendary as far as hot hatches go. Now, a couple of you that are in Europe have actually made comments on my videos and sent messages that you love the 845 AMG. It wasn't practical enough for your family, so you wound up buying a GLA 45 AMG anyway. Here in the United States, I think there's a big following for the CLA 45 AMG. I don't think many people know what this GLA 45 AMG does. I live not too far from Mercedes North American headquarters. Now they're moving to Georgia, but they used to be up here in Bergen County. And I could tell you, so I see a lot of Mercedes where I live, a lot of BMWs where I live because of the employees. But do a little acceleration here. But I can tell you that you don't see many GLA 45s around. I've had this car, oh boy, at least 6 months, more than that. I bought it in September, so October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. I've had it 8 months, and I've only seen one other GLA 45 where I see a ton of CLA 45 AMGs. I really can't say enough about this car as a daily driver. In the winter, you know, I put a set of winter tires on it. It gets through the snow with ease. Watch some of my old videos with driving this car in the snow. I think I did a video with a foot of snow, unplowed driveway. This car got right out with proper winter tires. It is a ball in these turns. It's a real sports car that you could drive every day. Now, is it a track car? No. It does, you know, have a very stiff suspension. So if you know, want a comfortable ride from like a big Mercedes or a Lexus, this may not be your car. And part of the reason I got this car is I wanted a car that kind of flies under the radar for work. And this car does it. Everybody just thinks it's a GLA 250, and around here, GLA 250s are a dime a dozen. There's a million of them. But like I said, I've only seen one other GLA 45 in the 8 months that I've had this car. And I kind of don't like to see myself coming and going. I like when I have a unique car that nobody else has. I don't think people understand what this is, even when I tell them that it's the AMG version. So if you're trying to impress your neighbors, this is probably not that. But I wanted a fun to drive, all-weather car that I could drive every day. I don't even have the sport suspension on this car, and you can tell by the camera how stiff this car really is. So you really feel every bump. I had the sport suspension on my CLA 45, and as a daily driver, it was probably honestly a little too stiff. Now, I bought this car used, so I didn't have that much say in the options. I really just wanted the Recaro seats, was my #1 option. I loved how the black 20-inch wheels looked, but from having them last time with the CLA, I knew they were probably going to be too stiff. So for me, as a daily driver, since I'm not tracking this car, this was really the best combination for me, the Recaro seats with the stock suspension. Now, what sounds great, and hopefully it comes out in the GoPro, is this Mercedes Sport exhaust. It was only like a $500 or $600 option, but worth every single penny. The sound from this car, I think this is one of the best sounding stock exhausts I've ever heard. Trent even had a video of this GLA 45 AMG head-to-head with a Porsche Macan, and this car won the comparison test. Matt Farrer also has a great video of the GLA 45 AMG as well. Now, this car has 3 different modes for the transmission: comfort mode, sport mode, and both of those will actually shift for you when you hit the red line. I drive around in the manual mode, and in the manual mode, it actually lowers the threshold of the traction control and the stability control, the electronic aids, so the car is a lot more livelier. There's a lot, it almost kind of oversteers in this mode as compared to, say, mild understeer in comfort mode. Comfort mode, to be honest, is really not that comfortable. It's kind of jerky around town. Oh, you know what? I'm going to skip this turn. Too much traffic going that way. Comfort mode is kind of jerky around town. I use comfort mode in the highway if I'm driving at a steady speed or if I'm stuck in traffic. The manual mode or sport mode is going to be very rough with shifts if you're sitting in traffic. And then obviously if you want to have the car in 7th gear in manual mode on the highway, I probably have to drop realistically at least 2 gears to 5th to pass anybody. This engine is also very tunable. The Mercedes dealer had told me that you can get a Rentec tune and it's covered by your full warranty if you have it installed at the Mercedes dealer because it's an ECU tune, and it adds like another 100 foot-pounds of torque to the 332 foot-pounds of torque. I always find myself when I'm in this car taking the long way home. Always try to find the back roads over the highway. It's got plenty of passing power on the highway, like I said. I usually keep it in comfort mode on the highway, so this way I can just hit the gas and I'll downshift automatically to pass somebody. If I'm in manual mode, 7th gear has no passing power at all. You'd have to do a couple flicks of the paddle, certainly, to get into 5th or 4th to pass anybody. You want to keep this engine on boil at least 3,000 RPM. But I could drive this car all day. It is a stiff ride. It's a lot stiffer than my M2. So if you were driving this car compared to it, you can see how much the camera shakes in this car compared to the other cars. It's super stiff. And this car doesn't have the sport suspension or the 20-inch wheels. So if you're going to get both of those, it's even stiffer. These Recaros are very supportive. You know, it's going to depend on your body type. I'm 6 feet tall, athletic, 180 pounds, so I fit fine in these seats. You know, if you're a little wider, you know, bigger torso, it may be too tight of a fit. That was a Maserati that just went by. Here's some turbo noise there. This car takes off like a rocket. It's got launch control as well. You got to go through a million steps to do launch control. I did it on my CLA a bunch of times, so I guess I'm over it. I haven't really done it in this car, but basically when you go through all those million steps to do it, you only have about 2 seconds to do it. So if you don't, so you'll never time a light or anything like that. So when you go through all those steps, if you don't do it within like those 2 seconds at the end, it'll actually make you start from scratch. So that's typically why I don't do it. You really kind of got to be in a deserted area and take your time doing it, because you got to go through the steps and then be able to launch really right when you're done with the last step. We have some beautiful driving roads here in New Jersey that are local, and just, you know, driving this car on these back roads is everything I could have hoped for. All these daily drivers may be fast, but they're full of understeer, have floaty suspensions, and this really handles the turns great, like I said before. And even like, I love going on highway entrance and exit ramps with this car because it's such a chuckable car. I don't think people realize how good this car actually is. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below and share this video with your friends. All 4 of those allow us to rise in the rankings and allows me to keep making videos. Be sure to check out our website, glenscarcollection.com. Lots of extra videos and articles posted there, so make sure you check on that website at least once a week. We're always posting new stuff to it. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.